Are you sick and tired of suffering with those embarrassing digestive problems? Have you found yourself wondering what promotes good gut health lately? If that's you, then you are in the right place. In today's video, I am going to be answering exactly that question, and I'm going to show you how to take immediate action so you don't have to be embarrassed any longer. Let's jump right on in. Hi, I'm Dr. Kelly Shockley, Doctor of Cause, chiropractic, board certified in sports medicine, specialized in clinical nutrition. In this video, we're going to reveal why the number one reason trips for the doctor occur is also the biggest gut health destroyer. Then we'll be talking why Newton's first law is key for optimal gut health. And don't you worry, we're really not going to get into physics. And finally, we will be going over the top foods you should be consuming on a regular basis to help restore your gut health. Let's get started. What is the biggest gut health destroyer that is also responsible and the reason why most people end up at the doctor? In fact, it's about 93% of all visits to the doctor are because of this issue. So what is it? It's called stress. Stress is the number one reason why people end up in the doctor's office, even though they may not realize that that's what's putting them there. But did you know that stress absolutely destroys your gut health? Part of the reason is when we're dealing with stress, whether it's high levels or it's low amounts, but just on a regular basis, is it takes your blood flow and it actually moves it away from your gut. So if you're stressed and you don't have adequate blood flow going to your digestive, system, then anything that you're putting in to try to nourish your body is not going to be properly digested, which also means it's not going to be properly absorbed, which ultimately leads to overall bad health and well-being, much less alone digestive problems. That's the other side of this too. Like when you don't have adequate blood flow to your digestive system, nothing is working properly. So you start having signs from the body that there's a problem. And when it comes to the digestive system, that is where you can be experiencing all of those really embarrassing symptoms, from gas and bloating to, having to excuse yourself to run to the restroom because you're having issues with diarrhea. You could also have the upper part of the GI system acting up and be experiencing heartburn or indigestion, belching. Just all the weirdness that this system can actually create could partly be due to this lack of blood flow to the digestive system as a result of stress. So one of the things that is critically important if you want to finally take back control of your digestive system's health is to add in daily stress reducing types of techniques. Now, we live in a world that's full of stress, and I can't say that I found the way to make us invincible yet. But what I do know is we can work on improving how we manage our stress, and having a daily stress reducing type of activity or routine is one of the best approaches for doing that. It could be something as simple as just some deep breathing throughout your day. The type of breathing where you are taking a slow, controlled deep breath in through your nose, maybe counting to 5, letting your belly fully relax and actually do what's called belly breathing. Did you know Americans forgot how to breathe? We all breathe from up in our lungs, which doesn't allow them to fully inflate the way that they should. So these deep belly breaths, taking 5 seconds to breathe in and then blowing out through your mouth, counting again for another 5 seconds. Great and very effective, very immediate technique for reducing stress and also anxiety in your system. Doing that regularly, even if it's a couple of times through your day, is going to help your body be able to keep blood flow to your digestive system so that when you're consuming food and it's time for your body to actually digest and absorb, it has the capacity to do so and to do it without having to provide effort so you don't end up with those weird, embarrassing symptoms anymore. So I'm curious, did you know that stress was the number one gut health destroyer? Let me know in the comments down below. And tell me if you've had any experiences that really illustrate that point to you. I'd love to hear it. Just comment down below. Okay, let's talk about Newton's first law and how in the world this applies to gut health. In case you've forgotten what Newton's first law is, it is bodies in motion, stay in motion, while bodies at rest, stay at rest. Now, how does this relate to our health? We were meant to be dynamic beings, meaning technology is the world we live in right now, and so many people have desk jobs. And we spend time not moving on a regular basis all day long. Years ago, research came out and said that sitting, basically not moving, is worse for you than smoking is when it comes to your overall health and well-being. And then just a couple of years ago, research also came out and said, you know what? We don't know that standing is any better for you all day long compared to sitting. And they're right, because nobody's talking about the key detail that really promotes health, and it's movement. You see, when we're sitting and we're not moving, our circulatory system is not doing what it's supposed to. A lot of it depends on us actually being active and moving around. Our body does not function at an optimal level when we're sedentary, and everything goes into the aging process and like fast forward. I'm sure you can probably think of somebody who you know who's gotten older and became far less active and then all of a sudden seemed to age and fast forward. Or maybe you have known somebody who's gone into like a nursing home environment. And not knocking any of the people who work there or those environments, but they're tough. I've witnessed both of my grandparents on my dad's side with this reality. And what happened was they were far less active, and all of a sudden, the less active they were, the even more less active they became, and the faster they seemed to age. I also have seen this in reverse on the other side with my grandparents, my Nana and Papa, my mom's parents. They used to winter down in Arizona on a regular basis, and they were almost spending half of the year down there at one point until my mom's like, "You can't do that anymore. You're coming back old." So what were they doing? Well, they were in a retirement community and they went dancing. So they were kind of active. And my grandparents always have been very busy. But when they went down there, everybody around them was older and they were into playing cards and sitting around and chatting. So they were definitely less active down in Arizona compared to when they were back here in Colorado. So part of it was also who they were around, but a lot of it had to do with this Newton's first law. They were not moving as much. And when we're not moving, it becomes easier for you to move less. Have you noticed that before? So here's the deal. We were designed, like I said, to be dynamic beings. And in order for our digestive system to be healthy, we need that movement. We need it more than just walking around all day long. We need it actually in the form of exercise, whatever you want that to be, whether it's dancing, hiking, kayaking, canoeing, actually going to a gym. It doesn't matter what it is as long as you're doing it regularly. And that is also key for helping us maintain proper body weight, proper body composition, which is also critically important for us to have a healthy digestive system. So start moving. Make it a challenge. I mean, gosh, who doesn't have a watch that can track how many steps you take? Challenge yourself. Look to see what you've been doing regularly and see if you can improve it by at least 50%. Maybe even go for doubling it. Park further away from your office. Take the stairs, park further away from the grocery store, and then put activities into your daily, routine that allow you to be moving more, doing things that you enjoy. Super important. Now, before I get into the top foods that you really want to consume to help restore your gut health, I just want to remind you to subscribe to the channel, turn those notifications on. That way you never miss a future video. I am producing videos about gut health, brain health, and everything related to achieving what I like to call total body mastery on a regular basis, and I don't want you to miss them. So definitely subscribe and remember to turn those notifications on. That's awesome. Okay, so what are the top foods you need to be consuming on a regular basis in order to restore gut health? Well, this is kind of summed up by what I like to refer to as following a more macro type of a diet. Now, everybody throws the word macros around and nobody really knows what they're talking about or what percentages they're talking about. So if you're unfamiliar with what a macro is, this is just simply put as like our fats, our carbohydrates, and our proteins. And what we've seen since the 70s, in all honesty, even though we haven't heard about it since the 70s, is that the type of diet, the percentages of those macros that the human body responds best to overall, not just for restoring gut health, but for promoting healthy blood pressure, healthy diabetic markers, decreasing the amount of inflammation in your body, which is a huge irritant to your gut and is the root cause of all disease and illness, and so much more, is when we eat low amounts of carbohydrates, we're talking about 20% or less, high amounts of healthy fats, somewhere between 50 and 70%, and then moderate amounts of clean proteins, somewhere around 20 to 30% of your diet. Now, if you're not entirely sure what that looks like, tracking food is a daunting task, but it can be highly informative. So if you're wanting to adopt more of a macro type of a diet and see how that improves your gut health, then I suggest using something like MyFitnessPal or some of the other tracking apps that are out there just for a few days. So you can really get an appreciation of what those quantities actually look like. So when you go into these apps, you're not going to look at grams, you're not going to look at calories, you're going to look at your percentage. I am a big fan of percentage, not of grams and not of calories, because not all calories are created equally. So we shouldn't gauge everything based off of what we're eating in a calorie standpoint. Calories in doesn't equal calories out anymore either. We have to go for nutrient dense sources of foods, and oftentimes they might have more calories. But what you may find is that what you're consuming, portion size, starts to become smaller if you're getting nutrient dense foods in. So ultimately, none of that even matters. Start educating yourself on what those percentages look like on your plate. Another important food to add in is fiber. Majority of Americans are getting next to no fiber in their diet, like not even 10 grams in a day. And you should be shooting between 20 to 30 grams of fiber a day. Now, one of the best sources are all of your vegetables. Those are the fibers that I'm talking about, not necessarily the ones from the grains, the ones from the vegetables. Okay, your body gets to utilize those fibers differently than what it would from the grains. There's something known as soluble and insoluble fibers. Soluble fibers are more of the type that you're getting from your vegetables, and they're really, really healthy for your gut. Those foods contain a lot of also what we know as your prebiotics, which is important for helping to promote a healthy microbiome. That microbiome, if you're unfamiliar with that term, is the ecosystem of all the good and some of the bad bacteria that live inside of your gut, which is part of how your whole digestive system works. You want a healthy microbiome in order for your digestive system to be healthy and strong. So in addition to the fibers, you also want to add in foods that contain a lot of the prebiotics, which are the foods that feed the good guys that live inside of our gut. Most commonly, people have heard of prebiotics in the form of like drinking kombucha tea or all of your fermented foods. So whether that's kimchi to sauerkraut to you name it, if it's fermented and it's not heat treated, this is key, guys, not heat treated, which means you won't find it in the aisles of a grocery store. If it's been heat treated, that's where it is, and it does not need to be refrigerated. We want the stuff that is required to be refrigerated, okay? That is what's going to actually nourish all of those good guys that live inside of your microbiome. Now, if you're wanting to take this whole process and put it on fast forward, then down in the description below, you'll see a link. I am giving you my free 7-day meal plan that helps promote not only brain health, but really good gut health. With this meal plan, you are going to get the meal plan, which has been designed for those of you who are so super busy or just don't want to spend every single day cooking and in the kitchen. That meal plan is for you. It is so easy and effective and very user-friendly. There is also a grocery list in there for you too, so you don't have to worry about writing anything down. And then you get all of these recipes that will help nourish your gut and really start to restore its health again. These recipes are super easy, they don't take very long, and they've been kid approved. So just look for that link down in the description below, and you'll get your immediate access to my 7-day meal plan, which will help you eat your way to better gut health and ultimately better brain health, which who couldn't benefit from that? All right, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. And until then, here's to being healthy and God bless.